Welcome back to more Parasite Eve 2. Last time we got orders to go investigate some strange happenings in a small desert town called Dryfield. And as you can see there, IS Trunk is now a storage space. So there is literally junk in IS Trunk, and we will be putting more junk in IS Trunk as we go throughout the game. You can come over here like before and get another health item. And trust me, Dryfield will give a new meaning to the term small town. It is very small. Fairly large for a game area, but still pretty small. And unfortunately, we don't have any of our equipment from the Acropolis Tower. So we do want to pick up this rifle. It's probably going to be our bread and butter for most of the game. And definitely max out the ammo. Fortunately, I haven't really been buying anything, so I've got money to spend. Granted, this is only the second time that we've come to the shop. And so now I'm just doing some inventorying. I need to put the ammo for our new gun over on our belt and equip the new gun. Something I don't think I explained in the first video, I know I didn't explain it last video. When you're in combat, the only items you can use are the items that are on your belt. We will also get belt pouches, which as you can imagine allow you to increase the amount of items that you can carry into battle. So definitely useful, kind of a weird game mechanic, but I'll roll with it. Now let's go talk to this guy. I heard the SWAT weapons were returned back to the police. Sucks for you, now you gotta buy replacements. You're only trying to save the world after all.
Let's go do this alien shit.
Right. I'll open the gate, and off you go. Definitely pay attention to these locales, as we'll be revisiting them a lot throughout the next few videos. This is where you can pick up your free stash of 9mm Parabellum rounds. Why you would be using them at this point, I'm not really sure. If you're careful, then you shouldn't really need to ever use those bullets again. So the first thing I want to do is save my game. Fortunately, there's a handy-dandy telephone right over here. I will also be cutting any dialogue from these phone calls from now on, just because it's stuff I don't feel like reading and I don't even feel like mocking. I'm sure it's somewhat interesting to the plot, but I don't feel like doing it. How many playthroughs of this game actually have male and females voice acting the male and female characters in the game? Right, so here's a new enemy. The dickheads! I hate these things quite a bit. Ha, you missed. That's one of the few times that's going to happen in this game. Take a seat. I really don't like these things. They're really annoying. They can take a lot of points off of your health. They can be kind of annoying to avoid with these tank controls. And Aya moves really strangely when in a combat stance. I'm not a fan. And that can cause some problems when you get into situations where you have to run a lot, or especially if you have to be precise in where you're going. And we got some more enemies in here. Like with the last area, after we complete certain tasks to progress the story, we will get new red zones where enemies have respawned. We spend enough time here that I got pretty irritated with having to go back and forth throughout this area killing enemies. But I do it because I need the experience and the money. Be sure to check these photos, they will be important to a puzzle. I can't remember if we're going to get that next video or the video after. I believe the code is 3033, but we'll get there when we get there. You basically are going to have to figure out the age of one of the two dudes. There's two photos, that one and another one, and you'll have to figure out the age that that person was when they fought. It has wonderful thoughts that some of which are actually kind of entertaining to read. I did make an effort in this area to kind of walk around and try to get as much commentary from Aya as I could on things, just in case she had anything interesting to say. I also plan on showing every area in this town. It's not a very big town. It won't all be in one video, but I do plan on showing it all off. A lot of these rooms are not required to progress the story. They're just rooms for extra items and enemy encounters. So this seems kind of like a strange location to progress the story, but this is where we need to go next. Ma'am, you okay? Ma'am? Well, shit. That's the second lady we've seen turn into one of these things. Technically first because the other one turned into a sub-boss. Still, that's kind of annoying. Imagine you're going out on a date with somebody, you think everything's going well, and suddenly she turns into a monster. And I don't mean turns into a monster after you married her and you finally realize what she's really like. I mean, actually turned into some sort of a zombie creature. Or whatever those things are. I still think they make silly sounds. Also, pay attention to the number of phones, toilets, and wine barrels that are in this town. They will be part of a riddle we'll get later. I think there's another item, but I don't remember what it is now. I'm kind of regretting my decision going through all this stuff. But somebody might watch this and be interested in Aya's thoughts. Yeah, I scrolled through this really fast, so I tried to slow down parts of it. Yeah, I don't want to know what genetic material is left over after that thing. Let's get the fuck out of here. So we've been in town less than 5 minutes and we've already encountered 2 monsters. That's not good. I sure hope we'll have better luck the further we go into this town. Probably not, though. It's funny I mentioned that I've played this game about 20 years ago. I'm kind of surprised how much of this area I actually remember. I spent a lot of time here. Even the Acropolis Tower I remember a little bit of. I think most of that's from playing it recently. I did start a playthrough of this game a few years ago after finishing the first game, but I never really got very far. Huh, wonder what's down here. Damn it. I really don't like these things. And I start off here with a decent enough strategy for fighting them. Force them all to come this way, which makes them easier to deal with. I do need to remember that the secondary attack of this gun is a single shot, which could be helpful in saving ammo. I do waste a bit of ammo in this fight. Damn it, you varmints! And here's where I have problems. Get off of me! You stupid bats! Or moths, or whatever the hell you are. I think there are both in the game. Get off of me! Hey, look, we're shooting the bird! Huh? Huh? No? Okay, that was really bad. Let's just forget I said that. I think I know what made that noise. I'm not sure. I have a feeling we're going to find out, though. We won't find out until next video. If we explore over here, we'll find a healing item, I believe. It's either a healing item or ammo, I don't remember. Whatever it is, its eye is now. Hooray! You know, the sad thing is, over the course of the week where it was freezing here, I had a few stories I wanted to tell, and now I don't remember any of them. Yeah, here she's just saying that there's a sign that says keep out, but she decides to go in anyways. There aren't many powers that you can use outside of combat, but heal is one of them. Every time you upgrade one of your abilities or unlock a new one, you get an automatic Parasite energy refill. Huh, clearly somebody's inside there. I guess that means we're going to have to investigate and find out who. But before that, we've got a slightly annoying puzzle. It's only annoying because I didn't notice one particular thing, which is a gate. I'll talk about that in a moment. I am cutting all my fail from it. So we have to turn that on so that we can activate this panel here. There we go. And now we need to move that car up. Going back to what I was talking about regarding the magic, since you get a full magic refill whenever you upgrade something, you can always be sure to use all your magic before you upgrade or activate something. Or if you're not in battle and you realize you have enough points to upgrade it, and you're down some health, you can always just heal. That way you get the most use out of your magic. I try to do that quite a bit throughout this game. You can check the trunk of this car and find some shotgun shells. There are multiple kinds of shotgun shells. Now, don't do what I did. After you click that switch, there's a gate you need to open. I got stuck here because I did not realize that there's that gate you needed to go through. There are multiple types of shotgun shells, but I don't know which type are in that trunk. And so you could tell at this point I had lowered the vehicle. So now I'm having to raise it again. And now turn it this way so that we can get through that gate. I find this kind of annoying.
who's there? What are you doing in my garage?
Don't shoot! FBI!
Don't move. Since when does the FBI have the right to invade private property? You look almost human. Don't look much like a Fed, though.
I'm not one of those creatures. Can I at least show you my badge?
Go ahead. What's missed?
Right, miss. We're a top secret agency. We hunt those creatures.
You bring any friends?
Nope, just me.
Ask for the cavalry and they send in a city girl, alone. What do they think this is, a fashion show?
I can hear you. I'm right here. Are there any creatures around?
Creatures? This place is crawling with them.
And the other residents?
Few got killed, others hightailed it out of here. Wasn't many here in the first place.
Can you tell me what happened?
It's kind of a long story. I don't have a thing to do with telling you about that. It's time for my rounds.
I'll help.
Better not. I got traps set all over the place.
But...
You must be tired from your drive. Go ahead and use the motel. And I forgot to introduce myself. Name's Douglas. I run the scrapyard.
Yeah, you were too busy being sexist. Aya Bree.
Hi there, Aya. Nice to meet you. Sounds familiar.
I doubt it. It's Japanese name.
That so? The room's on the second floor. Go ahead and use the shower. I promise I don't have a camera in there. The manager left a long time ago.
Somehow I don't believe you.
Oh, Douglas. I believe him. He's not a perv. He would never do that. I trust him completely. Sadly, we don't ever run into his traps as far as I know. I'm not sure if we come back here. I had a hard time getting around that obstacle that was on the wall there. I think that was a table or a bench or something. I'm not sure. I have mentioned I don't see very well, so I couldn't quite tell what that was. I'm assuming it's a bench. But I had the hardest time getting Aya to walk out of that gate and around that little bench. Oh look, a new enemy, scorpions, and they always attack in packs. If you can get some distance, they're pretty easy to kill, just don't walk through their poison fart gas as they die. That's always a problem. Okay, that was a waste of ammo. I will eventually learn to utilize the secondary attack. I don't remember when I figured that out, but I do eventually figure that out. Excelente! More items are always good. Granted, some are completely useless. And a lot of things like the combat lights and stuff like that I use for off-screen grinding. So like right now, I'm pretty sure we triggered some red zones now that we talked to Douglas. What was that? Oh my god! It's the worst thing ever! Babies! Responsibility! Commitment! No! Actually, these are worse. These are exploding babies. See? The good thing is they will cause damage to things around them, which is very nice. So when you got a group of them together, you can usually shoot one and take out a bunch of them with one bullet. So eventually I will be using the secondary attack. This is another one of those pictures that's going to be important to that 3033 puzzle I mentioned earlier. But like I said earlier, I don't remember when we're actually going to get that puzzle. I'm not going to come back here and show how to do it. This is not a walkthrough after all. I did say I was going to be thorough. So I'm pretty sure that a bunch of enemies have now spawned. Pretty much whenever these red zones come up, and if you didn't see last video, I'm talking about red zones referring to the map, which will show red whenever new groups of enemies spawn. Oh look, more of these things, the dickheads! Damn you! I did say that one time was probably the only time I was going to actually dodge these things. If you're close enough to them, they'll still do damage to you by nudging you, but they won't knock you down at least. So that's always a good thing. This reload gets me into a lot of trouble. Holding only 30 bullets that do as little damage as they do in this game really causes some problems for me. Awesome. Generally when you come up here, you're going to see some enemies have spawned. And I hear some now. I know several times I had to come up here to progress the story and I just cut enemy encounters. Obviously this is not one of those times. Fortunately these guys are easy enough to take out. And I do quite enjoy the sound of them deteriorating. They talked in a cutscene last video about autopsies on these things, which make no sense considering these things dissolve, so you could not actually perform an autopsy on them. The game doesn't understand its own rules! I remember getting here when I was playing this and thinking to myself, oh god, I remember this area all too well. There's a particular famous scene that's a precursor towards something that I found really annoying that happens in this game. And you can use this area for storage, which is always nice because we will be picking up plenty of items. I would also save your game here. I tend to try to utilize the magic attack as much as possible to try to hold off on using items. So I end up with quite a few items. I like that she's surprised that toilet works. And the dialogue we're going to get here is what I was talking about last video. She talks about how her mitochondria keep her looking young. Which is kind of strange because, like I said last video, she's only 28. So she's not exactly old. Women generally stay in their prime at least till they're 30, maybe 32. So she's fine. Now, if this were 20 years after the first game and she were 45 instead of 28, then yeah, I'd be pretty damn impressed. Granted, I guess 28 in Japanese storytelling is probably ancient. I swear looking at most Japanese, either anime or video games, anything like that, all the characters look like they're 16, or sadly younger at times. Oh look, there's a dude up there we're going to have to talk to. And in order to do so, we got to do something that I found kind of annoying. You can check that. Aya has thoughts on that plant. Come on, Aya. Freaking Japan. I've been watching Jimmy Fails play Fatal Frame 5 recently. I watched an LP of that game a few years ago. Which I'll talk about that more later if I remember. It relates back to my thoughts on Japan and how disgusting some of them are. Oh look, more of these things. So you remember me talking about how annoying sometimes controlling Aya during her combat stance can be? that's going to cause me some issues here. And you'll notice a stat buff that's going to happen in a moment. So we got to flick a switch, which is going to open a timed gate. Why this gate is timed, I have no idea. I tried this several times, and I did not like having to constantly take hits and fail this, and then having to come back and do this again. So just hightail it for this gate. You really do not have any time. And I was annoyed as hell about this. And I was complaining about this to Jimmy, actually. Although I didn't say what I had done there. I finally got pissed off and put on a Game Shark. Damn you, monster! So that at least if I failed this multiple times, at least I wouldn't be taking hits. I don't have a problem with taking hits and taking some damage if it means I get through, but I don't like taking damage and then having to keep retrying this and constantly just losing health because I can't get through here. Alright, let's kill these things. So at some point, I save my game and reset the console to turn that health off. And the stat buff is going to stay until sometime next video. But it will go away. So this is not going to be a cheat playthrough. Although it did stick around a lot longer than I thought it would, considering I had reset the console. So if Jimmy's watching, that's what I was pissed off about. That stat buff stuck around longer than I wanted it to. Take a seat, you damn puma. For some reason I thought a puma was a fish. Guess not. Oh well. Whatever, I don't study animals. Oh, how nice for extending a ladder. I bet he's going to extend other things for her too. At some point. Yeah, I'm not happy about the stat buff that's going to be here for the rest of this video and part of next, but I did not want to re-record that, and I got tired of resetting my console. My apologies. I would have helped out, but I was afraid I would hit you. Name's Kyle. Kyle Madigan. And you are?
I agree. FBI.
Well.
Is that a problem?
That puma-like creature. It had a human face. The fuck is up with that? That one of those MMCs?
Yeah, an unusual breed.
So you're one of those mist hunters, right?
You've done your homework. May I ask who you might be?
Who, moi? I'm a PI out of LA. I'm here to check out a shelter supposedly in these parts. I ran into some of those monsters on my way out here. They totaled my car, and I love that car too. Hope they don't do that to you. So I walked the rest of the way into town.
A private investigator, huh? In that outfit?
Well, you never know these days.
Really? So, what's supposed to be in this shelter?
That's confidential to my client. I would lose my license. You trying to get me fired? Not that I know anything yet. I just got here. Hey, since we seem to be looking for the same thing, why don't we join forces? Pool our resources, if you will.
Yeah, I'm game.
Let me know if you find any clues. I'll be examining this. Ciao, babe.
Okay, we have now met Kyle. So far, I don't really like him. I'm guessing this is giving us direction on where we need to go next. I'm not entirely sure. It has been a couple weeks since I played all this. And that cutscene that I cut part of was just the gate opening. I didn't think anybody needed to see any of that. Kind of like I did there too, because again, it's just the gate opening. It's not crucial to the plot. What is crucial to the plot is we do need to come up here. Ugh. That's disgusting. And we need that key. I think somebody does reference this guy at some point. I believe he does have a name, I just don't remember what it is. But that key will be important for later. But first, we've got to deal with more scorpions! Get over here indeed. So what I'm trying to do right now is come over here. So the scorpions will stay in that area that they were in before. Some of them will. So I can basically just kill them without them being able to damage me, because they're on the other side of that fence. So that was the plan. A few followed me over here, but not a huge deal. Not like we have a heal ability that will allow us to heal up when we take damage. Victory goes to Aya, and I went around and explored a little bit more and didn't find anything else. So in addition to the stat buff for health, we also get the stat buff for magic, so I'm going to be using a lot of magic throughout the rest of this video and at the start of next video. Like I said, that will go away eventually. If anybody's mad about that, well, fuck off. There's a bottle cap magnet that we're going to need. It's got Coca-Cola on it because apparently this game was sponsored by Coca-Cola, which seems really odd. I could see some game that would have been highly marketed and potentially be super popular at the time, although games really weren't that way back in the 90s or early 2000s. I could see Coca-Cola sponsoring a sports game of some kind, or maybe a racing game or something. I would not have imagined they would sponsor Parasite Eve 2. Not that I'm complaining, I always enjoy seeing real-life products in fiction. It gives a sense of realism to the world. Unlike something like, say, The X-Files, I remember watching, you would see Coke machines, and it would just say cold drink or cola or something like that on there. So I do like that sense of realism. Damn you monsters! The enemies in this game are kind of annoying to fight. I'm guessing the areas do set you up to do well against them if you plan your attacks accordingly. Say certain areas, if you go in to a room from one direction, you might have a better chance of fighting those enemies than if you enter that room from another direction, if that room has two doors. Oh boy, more pumas, or as I like to call them, dickheads. Eat fire! And eventually we're going to get more powers. So I will be showing off a lot more abilities as we go. You did say I used the plasma attack earlier. I think it was called plasma anyways. Damn it, scorpions! That's right. Aya for the win. That's great because every time we kill these enemies, which is why I would do all the off-screen grinding. And speaking of off-screen grinding, I went ahead and did some before coming back this way to go up these stairs. And I'm going to have to try to remember to talk about Fatal Frame 5 next video because I'm not going to have time to do that now. Basically, I'll just say in case I forget, and here I'm pointing out that some scorpions spawn here, and I was trying to point out where they spawn at. Basically, Fatal Frame 5... Oh, and here's me unlocking another ability. It's very exciting. Basically, Fatal Frame 5 ruins the character of Miku from Fatal Frame 1 and 3. I really liked her in 1 and was okay with her being in 3, and Actually, I guess I will have time to talk about this. The story basically says that Miku decided to enter into some sort of a ghost marriage with her ghost brother, who, even as a spirit, should be somewhere guarding a hellgate with... I forget what that chick's name is. Japan is fucking disgusting, and somehow they had a daughter out of that. Just fucked up. Fuck you, Japan. Anyways, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I will see y'all next time with more Parasite Eve 2!